This guy up. That's my chat down here. Yeah, I'm so out of practice. This is wild. I used to do this a lot,
Yeah, no
and
worries,
then I
man.
stopped doing it, and
So
now, just trying to get back in the groove.
no worries at all.
I'm also missing. I used to also have three screens set up, so this is
Ooh,
a little bit different. We're off one laptop now. I need to get all my stuff pulled back up. All right, let's see here. All right, I think we're live on. We're here on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, come find me on YouTube or Facebook. Preferably YouTube, I guess, right now. Um, I don't know why. That's just what I'm feeling today. So yeah, let me get started. So today's episode, we have titled "The Waiter Rule," um, and I want to get into this today because I had some really good moments today with the staff, and this is just kind of what was on my mind today. So if you don't know, the waiter rule is you can tell a lot by a person by how they treat their waiter. Um, if you go somewhere and they're just absolutely giving that waiter a hard time. They're making them go back for every little thing. They're giving them just hell. We all know those people. Hopefully you're not one of them, but we know those people. I think that says a lot for me, at least. It says a lot for it tells me a whole lot about how who you are as a leader for me, because when you're in charge of somebody, which let's be honest, that's how waiter relationship works. How you treat the people you're in charge of, it matters a lot to me. Um, it matters a lot to me because over the years I was bad at it. I remember I have a story I tell all the time about one of the first staffs I was running, and I don't remember specifics, but I got mad. I kind of blew up, and I was just upset, and I remember just kind of berating them. And that year, they all quit on me, and I had a gut punch moment from my assistant director at the time, and because I was still complaining, I was still pretending like it was their fault, and she stopped me in my tracks, and she said, they would have stayed had you just apologized to them. And it was a big deal for me at the time because it's hard to replace a whole staff like that. It was a section of the staff, will be clear. It wasn't like the entire staff left. Um, but it was like a big deal for me. It was a big turning point in kind of the way that I approach a lot of this now. Because I realized like, yeah, like, oh, I was an asshole. I treated them like shit and I deserved them to leave. They had every right to, they should have. Um, and so ever since then, I've kind of overcompensating for that moment um, over the years now. I have one of my staff members. She only worked. She's technically hourly, but she only worked like 3 days this week, and they get paid on Tuesdays. We were a little bit late to this payroll because we had a big job that's just been slowly trickling the money in, but we got them paid today, and I handed her like an entire week's worth of her check. It was a full week. And she looked at me. She's like, I only worked 3 weeks. I was like, I know. I'm doing this because like I think you're kicking ass. And like she missed because of kids. Like there was stuff going on with your kid. Like it's for me, it was not. Now, is that the way to approach it all the time? No, no, absolutely not. Right? Like you got to run a business at some point. But I wanted to show her in that moment that like I understand her. I know what she's going through. I understand the struggle, and like I'm here and I have her back. And that's important, I think, for me, especially early on when you're building a business, because, like, let's be real, when you start hiring your staff, you start leaning on them heavy because you don't have replacements you can fill them in pretty quickly. And then I think even as the organization gets bigger and bigger, how you handle them matters a lot because then and this is just practical shit too. Like, it's not just, you know, lovey dovey stuff. Like, if you treat your employees well, they stay with you. Turnover is lower. You retain them. You don't have to worry about hiring people all the time, right? So that's a big deal for me, and it's kind of what's been on my mind today. Um, how you treat people, I think, matters at all. This goes back to a lot of the culture stuff I talk about all the time. Like the culture you build in an organization bleeds into your customers. They see that very quickly. Uh, so anyway, that's kind of what my running theme that's in my head. But I do want to move on because we do have a guest today. I've been very, very blessed over the past week or so where we've been able to have a guest every single night. I'm super pumped. So I'm going to kick this over. He's going to introduce himself. He's going to tell him what's going on, what does he have going on, and then we're just going to start. He'll start asking questions, and then we'll just get into it and see what happens. So I'm going to kick it over. You're
Yeah,
live,
thank
man. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little about what you got going on.
appreciate it, Paul. Yeah, Gabe Sherman, Tampa, Florida. I do have to say that what you said, the waiter analogy, that couldn't be more true. Like I've had that experience myself. I actually worked in hospitality for 10 years, so couldn't agree more. Actually, what brought us to today is the reel that you did with, or I saw it as a reel. I don't know how you guys set it up, but with Gary V. And I was like, man, it's a great idea. Garage, I have 3 kids and a wife. I'm 39, so our garage is full of crap. and it's so frustrating. So right when you said it, I was like, this is a phenomenal idea. I think, not only would I use this, people in my neighborhood would use this, and then can't imagine how many neighborhoods around here, so on and so forth. Again, Tampa, Florida, it's a decent little area. I think you're in Dallas, right?
No, I'm in Midland, Odessa. We're in the middle of the desert.
Oh, wow. Very
Yeah,
interesting. Well, I don't know where I
yeah.
got Dallas from. I thought I saw that somewhere.
I was
Um,
talking to someone in Dallas and I was jealous about it. That made me want you. So,
yeah, so I went ahead, I bought a website. I have like a little business profile on Facebook I use for, random shenanigans outside of the personal profile. And so
mhm,
I made with the LLMs, I don't know if it was Chat GPT or Gemini, like a cool little image and some advertising and everything. And then I was about to hit 25 bucks for the week or whatever to run the ad, because that's briefly what you talked about in that 60 seconds. And I said to myself, can I get in touch with this guy? Is it possible? And so, of course, I go to the comments on the thing that I saw, and your you were the guy. First comment, I was like, all right, cool, DM, da, 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 yeah, so I guess a little bit about my background. I've been in sales most of my life, so about a decade in sales, a decade in hospitality. Now I'm in something called the right-of-way industry. I don't know if you're familiar. It's like a land services. It's all about infrastructure development. I work as a acquisition agent in this field, and so a lot of negotiations, a lot of interactions with people, and again, just to touch on that point that you made at the beginning, those individuals that you were talking about, them, the ones that we don't want to be, right? They're stuck in this bubble, right? And so, like when I enter, because I have to cold knock doors a lot. I go meet strangers all the time, and some of them, as soon as they open the door, what are you doing here? And it's like a million miles an hour, and you stepped into their world, right? And
yeah.
so I can totally understand. But yeah, so I don't know, 2 minutes, couple minutes there
No,
on me.
no. Okay, so like funny you say that. I'm the guy. I hate door-to-door salesmen. I really do. And I get it. I empathize. Like you're doing your job, you're doing what you're told to do. Um, but I think this is probably mostly because it's my marketing brain getting turned on, right? Because like I don't know you. I have no connection to your company. I've never heard of you before. Why are you knocking on my door? That's
Right.
kind of where my head goes because I think for marketing, the whole point is when I get to your door, you already know who we are,
Yep.
right? So maybe that's kind of why that triggers me a little bit. But I know that's like a whole thing. I have a whole TikTok thing where I'm like scrolling through watching people like just shit on salesmen. I don't know why. I don't know why that's interesting to me, but I
Well, let me tell
empathize
you
with
what,
them though. Let's be real on that.
your marketing skills would do amazing things in this industry, because public awareness, like this public service, public awareness is huge in the infrastructure development, whether it's a pipeline, transmission line, solar, wind, whatever's going in, the public wants to be involved. And more times often than not, the reason we have a hard time is because the communication isn't aligned, and it's not transparent, and there's confusion, and that's what we are tasked with, is educating these people.
Oh, I'll tell you. So I see this in cities all across the country.
Yeah.
Most cities and municipalities, government, even
Yep.
big government, even federal government, are awful at communicating to the public. They're not up to date. They're not, with the times of how to communicate stuff. Um, I mean, like the this, it cracks me up sometimes when I see like, what's a really good example of this? Oh, I'll tell you an example. When my kid's school says, "Oh, we made an announcement on our website." I don't visit your website,
No.
man.
You don't sub to their RSS feed, man? No, you don't.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that, and but it's like and back to like bubble. That's what ends up happening is like, oh, we did what we were supposed to. We made the announcement, but like they're not really thinking past how do I actually communicate
Right.
with the public. And but even then, like I can scale this back. Most businesses suck at this too.
Mm,
Most businesses, I would say 99% of businesses in the US, from small mom and pop shops all the way up to big corporate companies, are really bad at communicating. There's a select few that are very good at it. Most fall into mediocre middle, but a lot of them are just, they have no clue.
yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why when we jumped into the game the way we did, we were able to make an impact so quickly. Um, First of all, obviously there's no competition for what we're doing, first of all. But number two, because we were able to like basically blow the doors down and like I'm already known around town as the garage guy, which is weird to me because that's not what I do. I'm not a garage cleaner. Like this is just the venture I've decided to put my skills towards, you know? Um, we've been able to do that so quickly just because I think the way that we approach the marketing is very, very different than a lot of companies would.
How did you, I guess a couple questions. Just one right off the rip to clarify. In the video, I feel like you said you got 18 deals in your first month. Is that correct? You signed 18 deals, you sat with 18
16.
people. What
16. No, no, we cleaned 16 garages, like
wow.
closed actual, um, would have been more than that, but we were doing weekends only because of my full-time job. We
Right,
probably could have landed 2024, uh, 22, 24, not the year 2024, 20 or 22, 24 garages. Had I really pushed that a little bit harder, knowing we could have done weekdays. But I mean, it's 4 weekends,
right.
4 jobs each weekend, 16.
Yeah.
We booked it up.
And so to book that, did it take a month of generating the leads in the front? How long did it take you to generate those to fill it? Do you charge 50% up front for the deposit? Like, can you walk me through all that stuff?
Yeah, so no, it did not take that long. So I've told this story a couple times, but I think you'll get a kick out of this. I The story of like how this business came to be. I literally was, and I'll keep this short because I have said this, I've said this story a couple times, but the gist of it is, I found some stuff in my garage I wanted to sell on Whatnot, sold it on Whatnot. I was like, holy shit, I can sell stuff on Whatnot because it works. I'm gonna go find more stuff in my garage I can sell. While I'm at it, I'll clean it out. While cleaning it out, I realized I totally would pay someone to do this. And then I was like, "Oh, I don't think anybody does that here. Maybe I can be the guy that people pay to go do this." So that happened. That was the day that I cleaned the garage out. 7 days later, we had our first client clean out. Um, this goes into other stuff just about like I like to move fast and not think too much about it. Um, I don't even think we had but when we did that first clean out, we didn't have a website yet. I still don't have business cards. I don't have staff shirts yet because they haven't come in yet. We've just outpaced them making our shirts, which is ridiculous to me, but that's a company problem. It's just speed for me was the deal. So yeah, we moved quickly. We landed that first client. We went and cleaned it out. We ironed out whatever uh, problems we had with it, and we jumped to the next one the next weekend. Um,
Was it like friends and family or?
nope, random lady never met before in my life.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, she was very, very nice. Her first name. I'm not going to say her first name on her husband had died,
Oh,
and so we went in and cleaned it, and that was like my first taste of like, oh, this is more than clean outs. Like I didn't think about we may be dealing with this, like deaths and estates settling and divorces. That's I was not mentally prepared for that when we jumped in, but we've had to very quickly kind of realize that's the case. Um, but yeah, it was never better for my life. Um, I launched the ad, and I think I got her as a lead the next day.
wow. And that's all on Facebook, right?
Hmm. All 100%
Um,
on the back of Facebook.
and so, and then, do you mind if I ask, like, what you were paying daily? Like, how obviously you have I'm assuming an extensive level of experience on the back end or front end from your job that you're just funneling into this, which is probably why you had such quick, good conversion.
Yes, yeah, to be clear, because I used to tell clients this all the time. Facebook, if you don't know what you're doing, you can burn money pretty fast.
Right.
Um, because a lot of it, there's just a lot of bad advice out there, to be honest with you. But yeah, it stems 100% from like I have almost 15 years of experience doing this. Um, Go ahead.
I was going to say, are you mainly targeting zip codes, or are you going for the actual custom graphics of, like, middle-aged kids, da 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 da
Sure.
da? Yeah.
So, no, this is a great question because like when the advice you see a lot when it comes to meta ads is generally targeted towards big campaigns, right? Hold on, I've got someone asking me for the link. Boop. There we go. Uh, my staff wanted to jump in and watch. Um, oh shit! I logged out of TikTok. No, I'm still here, guys. Okay, there we go. Um, oh, most advice we get from like Facebook ads that you see on the internet is generally targeted to more like you're talking national campaigns, right? And so in the United States, you're literally trying to parse out 350, what's the population now? It's like 300 something million people.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with scale of that size, like, yeah, your money matters, especially if you're not a giant company. If you're Coca-Cola, you need everybody all the time, always, right? But if you're more specific and you've got a limited budget, you have to be careful about that and know who your target demo is. Now, if you approach local ads the same way Coca-Cola manages national brands, you can still be very successful. Because, and I don't know like, where are you from? What town are you doing this in?
So it's Hillsborough County. It's right outside of Tampa. I haven't done anything yet, in all honesty.
What's the population out there?
I mean, we're around 2 to 3 million total for Tampa, greater surrounding area, St. Pete.
Yeah.
It's a decent little drive.
So if I was in your shoes, what I would be doing is thinking about the like 5 to 10 mile radius around where you live,
Right.
and then thinking about where are the locations that are more likely to use me. I don't think one iota about the age demo or or is it men or women or are they interested in like I don't at all. I'm thinking, do they
Well,
have a house? Are they close to me? And that's it. And
well,
so
let me
when I
give
do
you.
my targeting, that's literally what I'm doing is I'm putting a pin down on the neighborhoods I want to do business in, and
Mm.
I'll shrink it down to like a 1 or 2 mile radius, and that's what I target.
Yeah, I don't know what the equivalent would be out there, but I'm thinking in our area, like, or I'm wondering to myself, are we looking at like neighborhoods that are housing $1 million households? Or are we looking at the national average of 400,000? Like, what kind of house size, or because I'm assuming you're not going to 50, you're not going to the hood, right? Nobody in the, not to be disrespectful to any
No, 100%.
specific.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, they're not going to hire. Are you kidding me? They would laugh me out of their house.
right,
Like,
right.
I fuck you. I'm not paying you to clean my garage. Get the hell out. Like, I'm going to do it. 100%. Right. Because, like, I'm kind of that way too. I'm not paying someone to clean my garage. Right. Until I did it. And I'm like, fuck, I would totally pay someone to do this.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no. So honestly, this is where this gets interesting because, yeah, why can't you sell this to some $5 million home? That doesn't blow my mind at all. Especially because they have the money for it, and guess what? They have a lot of shit too.
Right. Yeah. And they like people doing stuff for them.
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes those people, it may not even be their house because maybe they keep their house nice and order, but maybe they have storage somewhere. Maybe they've got a warehouse that they use, like, and their work needs to get situated, right? Because it's more than just what's in the
So this is
home.
what leads me into the next one. I was trying to look up how to parse out the actual business. Junk removal is basically what this comes under, right? Or no? Junk removal, or
Hmm.
there was another one. I can't remember what the other
This
one
is
was.
good. So this is a good
Mm.
question because when I everybody I talk to about like who are you competing with, most of the time when you search like garage cleanouts, you get the junk removal guys. That's usually what pops up. Now, what I've found interesting is we've been able to really differentiate ourselves from them because guess what? The junk guys, they're not helping you move boxes. They're not helping you put shelves together and put the totes on the shelf or help you go through the memorabilia from, your grandmother. Like they're not doing that shit. They're there, they're going to come pick the stuff up and they're going to throw it away. And
Uh,
so we've been really able to kind of like be different in that world and have grow much more deeper connections with clients because we're not just throwing shit away. We do that. It's a thing we do, but that's not the thing we do.
well, mainly from what I've seen out here, because it's at least 2 to 4x the cost. You can hit a junk removal spot for a couple $100 to come pull your washer or dryer, whatever it is. That's whereas like if you're paying for, and that's where I was interested. I'm like, all right, so how white glove is this? How much does grandma or Auntie Susan get involved and hold up the process versus getting in there with who,
You're
how
asking
many.
such a good question. No, you're asking such a good question so early on because it's something I was not prepared for. We're in the process right now of kind of fleshing that out because what we found is some people, hey, come get it out of my garage, I don't want it. And then some people are like, I need you to open that box and I need to see every single item in there and make sure it's not, I want to keep it. Right. So we're in the process right now of kind of fleshing out the questions that we ask before we sign a client um, for that very reason, because it can be very white glove and then it needs to price accordingly. Right. So yeah, I mean that's such an interesting like you're thinking really good ahead, really far ahead, and I like that a lot because I wasn't prepared for that when we started this.
Well, my question would be, in reference to this subtle approach because, like, obviously, my wife or whoever it was I was talking to about this earlier was like, they said something fun. I live in Florida, and for some reason, they were talking about climate, and they were like, well, at least, or you're going to hate doing this in the summer, or some joke they were making. And I go, I hope you know my long term goal is in 5 years, I'm not cleaning garages. Like, like I'd like to, I definitely will do it for a couple of years, but I want to get somewhere to where and I don't mind getting in the trenches taking grenades or whatnot.
Sure.
But okay, so that led me to what I was going to say just now when I got sidetracked. Sorry, was that you could probably just double the cost of labor, and that's the cost differentiator for someone that's like I want to sit in and like take 8 hours on a 2 hour process. So then your employees still getting paid their wage, and at least you're making something for them dragging this out another five
Yeah,
hours.
here's the thing too with pricing, the way there's no wrong way to do any of this. Like the way as long as it makes sense from a labor perspective, who cares how you price it? You could do flat fee, you could add the hourly if it goes past that. You could literally check a box for white glove service and know it's going to take 4 more hours. People might want that. So how you approach, I think it's all about the execution side, right? Because I don't have the answers for this quite yet. I don't know how we're going to do this yet.
Yeah.
We're going to try some stuff. We're probably not going to like it. We'll change it up. We'll see what's up. I mean, there's, it's a great question to ask, but like, I think as long as the math works and as long as you're upfront with the client about it, I don't see a wrong way of doing this, because like every business even in same industries price stuff differently and have different ways of doing it. So, there's gonna be no difference here. Like, you could charge people hourly and just track the hours if people are okay with that. Like, I don't know why that wouldn't be a problem.
Well, what
Um,
I meant was in reference to like someone sitting there staring at the individual, like trying to price gauge, like because you said from the reel that I saw it was $6.99. Is it a flat fee of that, or is that where you start, or that was the average deal price?
yeah, that was kind of like that was our average, right? Because we'd had some that were cheaper. We had one that was $3,000. Excuse me, the hiccups. We had one that was almost $3,000 to clean that. They're like 3 car garage out. We have one we're doing right now that's going to be an $8,000 one, right? So it just depends. Now, how we figure that pricing out is a question I hate getting asked because honestly, the answer is it's my gut.
Yeah.
And I have been wrong very big a couple times now, right? And so we're trying to parse that out and figure it out. And how are we going to do this? Make sure that doesn't happen. Like we're not making those mistakes again. But it's all just my gut feeling like, man, this is going to take 4 hours. That is a terrible way to do this, by the way, for anyone watching. There's nothing scientific about it. That is a shitty way to try and like, figure out what you should charge a client. That's just what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
That's not going
Have,
to
have,
stay forever. It can't, right? But it is what it is at the moment.
how many clients are telling you to take what percentage of their stuff and just get rid of it versus actually keeping whatever?
I think funny enough, when we go clean out, I think most of the time, do you mean like how much of their stuff out of the garage is going away to us
Yes,
or?
because this is what I think about in my garage, right? I have two types of things in my garage. I have seasonal stuff that we use every single year that sits there until the season, and
Yep.
then I have all this other crap that maybe one of those things get used a year, right? And so then outside of the seasonal, you could probably take everything else minus my tools or whatever random stuff, and I would not even know what you took. Like that's you know what I mean? So like how much stuff are you taking versus what are people actually asking to request to leave, and then how do you see that? I mean, they would kind of have to be involved to some extent, or at least know what they have in
No,
their
yeah.
garage.
So the process that we follow is when we show up, we purge the entire room. Everything goes out into a driveway or some area where we can kind of get eyes on everything. We usually put it in 3 or 4 columns. Then, as the guys are pulling it out and putting these columns together, we have the client go down and decide, okay, yeah, I need to keep this. I need to keep this. This can go away. And so they're kind of taking mental notes of going everything. They're putting little green sticky notes on the stuff they want to keep. Um, Once we're done and the room gets swept out, we kind of, we got a leaf blower we use to kind of get it out. We don't mop the floors or anything. We just kind of sweep it out, make it look nice. The stuff that we know that they know they want to keep, we'll then pull back in and reorganize for them based off of what they have in the area, or if we bought shelves for them. The stuff they don't want to keep is either trash or we're going to buy it from them. The percentage, most of the time when we open a garage up, I know half of it's gone. I know
Hmm.
half of it's going to go with us.
Hmm.
That's usually what ends up happening. Every once in a while, you have someone say it all needs to go away. And then every once in a while, you have someone says, I just want to reorganize because it looks like shit. But most of the time, it's like what you just said. I've got a bunch of stuff in here I haven't seen in years. I need it out of here.
Yeah.
And that's
Um,
where we get the good stuff.
Well, the interest, so this goes into a bunch of things, and I don't know if you'd be open to talk more about this later, but this is actually getting a little bit more interesting than I had considered. So Gary V, it has the mentality where he'll walk up to a garage sale and he'll pay 25 cents for a car that he knows is worth $100, and he thinks, man, that's good business, right? How do you approach that?
I think it's a little bit different for us because we're not just taking their stuff. Like there's a service attached to this, right? So for me, the kind of way I'm thinking of, I'll give you an example. So the other day we went and did one, and I was all the stuff that was either going to go with us, it was going to get sold, was kind of laid out there, and I was talking to the guy. Uh, I was like, well, I mean, let's talk about this. How much do you want for this stuff? And he's like, well, I don't know. What do you think? I was, I'll be honest with you. Like normally, I'll offer like $100 and we take it all, right? And he's like, I don't know if I could do 100. The thing is, there was a really nice Traeger smoker, like a
Ooh,
portable smoker.
yeah,
It's a $500 piece of equipment, right? And that's what he's looking at. He's like, I don't know, man. He's like, that thing alone is, $300 or $400 on resale. I was like, no, I get it. I was like, for me, and I'm be honest with him too. Like, there's only so much I can go,
right.
right? Because I've got to manage my expenses on this. And we ended up shaking on uh, him not having to pay anything beyond the deposit, which he'd already paid. And we took all the stuff. Yeah, I mean, and this is me being honest with him too. Like, we're going to make profits off this. I wouldn't buy it from you if we weren't going to make profits off of it.
Right.
They know that going in. I think, but the way I approach it is like, no one we take it out of it for you. You're gonna save some money off this because you're not gonna have to pay us the full amount, and then we're gonna be burdened with trying to sell it. because not everything sells. So that's kind of, I don't know. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
No, it did phenomenally. And the interesting thing is, like, you're gonna have a junkyard one day, or you're gonna business with thrift stores. You know, you're gonna partner with thrift stores because you're just gonna have so much stuff going through. You're only gonna look for the diamonds, and then the crumbs. That's gonna be a decent amount of money for some people, right? They're gonna find, a good margin. Anyway, so that's, yeah. What else?
And this, this is interesting for me because what you're hitting on is the second part of this business, the resale side, right?
Right.
Um, this is where I get called fucking crazy all the time because I'm literally thinking about them as two different businesses. How do I grow each one to feed itself and be its own monster? So the garage cleaning side is it's more cleaning. It's how do we upsell? How do we grow that up? Do I need to get another crew? How do we start expanding into another area? On the resale side, right now, we just moved into a warehouse, and that warehouse is kind of operating as a store for us. So, like, my thought is, okay, what does a thrift store look like? Is this something where I can open a thrift shop because I'm creating my own inventory? What would stop me from doing that? Because I got new stuff coming in like on a daily basis.
Yeah, and that would work well with the whatnot and everything else. You'd have a good tie. I'm assuming what is whatnot. I haven't explored it much yet. Is that tied to more of a local presence, or like, because is it pickup and delivery? And then also, I guess, to tag on to that, like, weird long sentence. Do you have to go live when you're selling on whatnot, or can you just list items?
It is a live selling platform. You can 100% list the items and people can buy from you when you're not live. But it's like the thing is, it's like anything else. Like on that platform, it's designed for live selling. So if you're not on it, you're not growing awareness. You're kind of a dead shop. Um, but Whatnot is very fucking interesting to me. There's a lot of cool stuff happening on there. We've got to dive deeper into it for sure because I don't have a very strong understanding of it quite yet. But I know the first time I jumped on, I sold something. And when that happened, I was like, oh, there's something here. Because I used to video game stream back in COVID, right? When no one was doing shit and I was sitting around my house. I started a streaming channel. It went really well. It was fucking fun. But one of the things that happens when you're doing that is like, you realize nobody's fucking watching you when
Mm.
you first start. And it requires effort, it requires marketing and all this TikTok shit to really start building up an audience. Whatnot was interesting because I went live and I had 20 viewers the first day.
See, that's what I'm interested in, because HSN or these home shopping networks, they have millions of potential viewers that are just zombified throughout the night that log on, right? Versus,
Mhm.
like, whatnot taps into what audience? That's where I get exactly what you're saying. Is it a local audience?
Sure.
When you log in, they have you pick some of your interests and stuff. So I'm sure that kind of gets a little bit of it, but yeah.
It's a lot of okay, so it's a lot of stuff. This is really okay. I'm gonna flex my muscles here a little bit because it requires me to think about kind of how Whatnot is doing this. So it's not local. It is definitely a national. I've shipped stuff to fucking Wisconsin before. I'm in Texas, right off of Whatnot. I shipped a $400 Gucci bag to Wisconsin that I sold on Whatnot, right? So it's definitely national. But what makes it interesting to me is because, yes, there are interest things on here, but it's the same as like any other social media platform. You have to build awareness. Whatnot is not an awareness platform. That's not some place where you can just go live all the time and all of a sudden you're going to get all these viewers. It's the same thing that gets taught to video game streamers when they're doing Twitch and all that shit. Like you going live is not building your brand.
Right.
That's the product, that's the service, that's what you're giving. To build, you have to do work on all the other platforms to drive that traffic there. So that when you do go live, you have all the people there, right? So going live on Whatnot alone is not there's more that has to go through there. That's stuff that I'm thinking about right now with my team, and we can talk about that. Um, but yeah, it's very national based. You ship the stuff yourself, which is another reason why I haven't jumped into it quite yet, because that can become a beast very quickly.
Yeah.
You make $10,000 in one live show. Well, guys, guess what? You got $10,000 worth of shit you got to ship now. So that's just something we're kind of hesitant about at the moment. We're doing well selling local on Facebook at the moment. So, but I don't want to rest on my laurels here and not pay attention to that because I know it's going to be huge and I know it will be a big deal for us because you can just move so much stuff on
Yeah, so I guess the thought then is that you buy into one of those, what is it, a mailbox store or a UPS, right? One of those little locations. And so you do half that, half thrift. And then in the thrift store, you're running whatnot 4 hours a day. The retail people sit there all day. So
there.
they just do whatnot and they get percentages on what they sell, you know?
Here's the crazy. I think this whatnot thing is so. It's not. Here's the thing. It's not just whatnot. Whatnot's the platform. What's happening is this live social shopping thing where people are going live and they're selling shit. This is not, this is new to social media. It is not new to the human race, right? Uh, Infomercials and, QVC, all this stuff has been around for a long time. It's just not hit social media. It's scaled the way it's about to. Whatnot is kind of the first ones to really dig into it. But if anybody is paying attention, eBay has launched their live social section. Facebook, I don't think is very far behind because they're not going to watch eBay and whatnot take up market share on this, right? TikTok already has TikTok Shop. Like this stuff is coming and it's coming fast. And it's going to be very interesting to watch this play out. And I say all that because what's going to happen is as this social shopping stuff gets heavier and heavier, and more people are doing it, because we already know people buy it are going to be the ones that figure out how to do that well.
Yeah.
I I'm already thinking about if I were to stop in our warehouse right now, I'm in the process of building out a studio just so Janelle can sell shit like that
Brick and
because I
mortar.
know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. No, 100%. So have you figured out a way to protect yourself when you find individuals like me that are capable but don't have the inner workings to get it launched, and then that way you could do some type of thing where you do either a rev share or a franchise or whatever it may be?
Um,
Because in all
no.
honesty, for me to look at you and say, all right, let me go dump 50, 100, whatever the number is, $5,000 into Facebook ads, and
Mhm.
then maybe get some stuff on the back end versus saying, if I just gave you 20% of the deal or the profit, right? Wouldn't that make sense or cover the cost or whatever I don't know what the fashion of the deal would be, but to me, that would make a lot more sense.
I have thought about it a lot. And it there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. Um, I've had people approach me for franchise stuff, like, would you franchise this? And then you have the branding conversation that comes into play. Now, when you say protect, what do you mean by that? Like, elaborate a little bit.
Well, you got to protect yourself in these scenarios, right? So you don't want to launch your brand in any other city or state and have a bad representation of that. So you'd want to make
Right.
sure in some form or fashion, also payments like other, like you said, this would require a lot more on your end, but the benefit would be the scaling, right? So then if this did work and you protected yourself well and there was a vetting process and all these things managed to line up and somehow you met all the right people, I mean, within 6 months to a year, you could be collecting in residuals what you're, putting in on the weekends or 10x that. Who knows, right? Like,
Sure. You're not wrong. There is a way for me to capitalize on this, but there's something about that that just sits very weird in my stomach. And I don't know if it's because, the immediate word that comes to my mind is it feels very much like a shortcut, right? Because I'm getting all these emails from the Gary Vaynerchuk thing, and like that's awesome, and I love that, and I love talking to people. Um, but like I was always dead set on building this thing slow from where I'm at, and just doing it the way any other traditional company would build this out. Is get good at it, build it out, expand in different areas, and just go from there. Um, and so the concept of like potential franchises or revenue shares, or I've had people approach me like, well, I'll pay you to do my marketing. And like, fuck, I don't want to do marketing anymore. Like the marketing agency I left behind a long time ago. Um, so that's a great, I mean, it's a good one. It's not something, it's a lot that I have to think about on how I would approach that if I even wanted to, you
well,
know?
I have one question that could help clarify it all. Like obviously we, as much as we love helping people and whatever all these gratuitous reasons for our lives being here, we really do this for the money, right? So like, how much would it take? Would be the question. That's like, if you needed to see $100,000 in three
Sure.
months of 80 hours a week of 12 weeks of this, then yeah, I'll trade that. I'll trade 12 weeks at 80 hours for 100,000, and then whatever that future holds, right? Like that's what I think. At least when
Yeah.
I hear it, just if I could be, bold enough to say that to you,
Sure.
with respect.
No, so here's where I think we maybe we differ a little bit on this. I would do this. I fucking love this. Like a lot. The reason, and it's not the garage cleaning. Like, let me be fucking clear. No one likes doing that. That's not fun. What I like is the problem solving and the bullshit and the people that I have to talk to. Um, I have several, you know, I've done several businesses before in the past, and they're always the same to me. It is a fucking game.
Yeah.
I like the process of building it out. Uh, this is an interesting one. The, have you ever? I don't know if you play video games or not. I play video games every once in a while with my kids. There's a game he plays. It's called Satisfactory. This game has no ending. It has no story. There's no fucking point. What you do is you build a factory and you try and make it better and you try and make it faster and more efficient. There's no fucking end game. That's the whole thing. I have racked up like 14,000 fucking hours on that game
Oh my God.
just because it just enthralls me to try and make it better every time. And I think I very much approached the business shit the same way. It's always about doing it, just fucking doing it better. I know in the long run, if I do that, the money comes. That's just how that works, right? And that's kind of what's in my brain is like it's a fucking game. Like how big can I build this? How big of a tower can I build until it starts falling? And how do I catch the pieces?
Yeah.
Um, because like don't get me wrong, you're right. Like at the end of the day, you got to make money. But I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing it because I fucking like it. If I was doing what I was doing for the money, like, I've made like almost no profits off this so far. Like fucking nothing. I have almost put every single dollar right back into the business. I have full-time staff. I've got a fucking work truck now. I've got insurance. I've got a warehouse we're dealing. I'm putting like $3,000 or $4,000 in marketing every month. All of it's going back into the business. And that is the sole reason for anyone watching why I have not quit my job. That is the sole reason why I have not quit my job because I know I can grow it faster if I have someone else paying my bills and I'm not the one paying you know what I mean?
I
Does that
do.
make
Yeah.
sense?
This is,
Yeah,
I mean, you're, not to be sound whatever, but you're a cliche dream of a modern American right now. Like everybody thinks they're going to have that 9 to 5 and then they're going to go do their 5 to 9 or whatever. And it's going to outpace. I mean, I applaud you, man. I think what you're doing is phenomenal. I take my hat off to you. I haven't been able to find the right side hustle, which is why when I was listening to yours, I yet
sure.
again said, "Oh, this sounds like the thing. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do this. This
yeah,
is
yeah,
it."
yeah.
And so
This is where so I want to hit on this for a bit because this is interesting to me. And this was one of my biggest fears when that Gary thing came out was I felt when I watched the clips, I was like, fuck, that sounds it's the way that clip was cut and the way we talked about it, it made it sound much easier than it was.
yeah,
And that was my fear when it came out. And I've been trying to tell everybody, this is fucking hard. Nothing about this is easy. This is it's late nights. Like having to deal with shit. Like I had to fucking scrape a dead rat off a garage. Like he was joking around about a dead rat. That shit was real. That stuff happens, right? The only reason I'm willing to put up with that shit is because I love the business building side. I could be building a business selling fucking, I don't know, dog treats shaped like dog poop, and I would still love that. Like it's the business that I like of it,
yeah.
not the thing, right? So I say all that to say when people follow the clip and they're like, yeah, let's go do that side hustle because we can make some money. Most people that go into something for the money end up failing because they realize very quickly it's not worth the bullshit they have to go through. And so a lot of times it's more like, can you find a thing that you'd be willing to do for free and then build a business around that?
Hmm.
Because if you can find that, you're fucking golden because literally everything in the world, no matter how silly it is, can be monetized in some way, shape, or form.
This is
Everything.
this is what we're trying to teach our kids.
Good. Because,
Yeah.
like, you think that's relevant now. Like, fucking wait till they get older. And the AI is going to commoditize so much shit. Like, the only thing you're going to be able to do is do the shit you want to do and then figure out how to monetize it. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, we're all out of jobs. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is like now is it's like I don't have time to fucking wait. My boss is going to fire me. Like
Yeah.
when he realizes he can do my job with a $30 subscription, I'm fucking gone.
I mean, we're not, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but to your point of it being a broad issue across the board, I think we're not too far away from that. We really aren't. I mean, the agentive bots, everything they got going on right now, it's pretty amazing stuff.
It's getting crazy. It's getting crazier and crazier every day. And and it's not like alarmist, like, no, I'm not gonna get fired tomorrow. My boss is not gonna fire me tomorrow. But that is a real fucking threat for some people. And and it's something that I want, it's part, like I said, part of the reason why I wanted to do this. I just don't My thing was like, I don't see AI coming and cleaning a garage anytime soon. Like that's a fucking
No.
robot. Not everyone's gonna be able to afford that.
So would you say it's technically a luxury good? Because if it is a luxury good, then it's not going to be affected by any harsh economic markets, technically.
I
But
do think, yeah, no, I do think for a lot of our clients, yeah, most of our clients are in that kind of tax bracket. Yes, most of them
nice.
are.
Yeah.
And that's something, again, not something I should have seen that coming because, like, honestly, like, who the fuck is paying that much money to clean a garage out? Like, I'm the kind of guy that I'm going to go do it myself, right? And I've got a pretty nice job and I got a pretty nice house, but like, I wouldn't fucking do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it very well could be recession proof for that reason, or at least to a degree, right? Like nothing's 100% insulated from that. But yeah, no, that's a really good point and not something I'd really thought about.
Another thing that I'm going to run this back to, and I don't know how long you have on here, so feel free anytime you got to jump. I could talk for hours. I'm a pretty
Oh,
big
I could
talker.
too. Dude, if you'll let me, I'll be here till 1 a.m. Trust me.
So I was talking to someone earlier about this, and we were discussing the emotional attachment to the stuff that we don't even want anymore, right? And they were like, "Hey, should I just go through it this one last time? I feel guilt." And I'm like, and they even said it before I could. If they go, if I open it, I know I'm not going to throw it away. And
Yep.
I'm like, dude, this is the selling point. This is like if there was some type of way to put this in an ad or whatever, it's like, are you tired of dragging around your emotional bullshit, right? But it's not like it's
Yeah.
real, it's actually real crap in your garage, we'll come get it, da 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 da.
Yeah, no. Dude, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Fucking we ran, I mean, I mean, I told you our first client, her husband died. Like, how is she not gonna have emotions in that fucking garage where I'm sure homeboy spent a lot of time,
Yeah.
right? And it was hard for her and she gave away a lot of stuff. It was like, oh, this is there was a couple things that she kept that it's funny the stuff that we find emotional because it was like a bag of tools that she kept. And that was the thing she wanted out of a lot of other stuff. Um, and so yeah, the emotions are fucking real. This is part of the reason why we get slow sometimes because the client wants to go through and they start to see stuff that they're like they have to sit and think about and reminisce for a little bit. And one of the things that I think has made a big difference for us is we're willing to do that with them.
Yeah.
We're willing to sit there and allow them to reminisce and kind of figure that out. Is that cost effective? No. But from a branding and a marketing and a we give a shit about you meter, it matters. It's everything. Because whenever we've got a client that's sitting in front of us and crying because they found something in the garage they'd not seen in 10 years from that belonged to the son that had, you know, decided not to be with us anymore. How the fuck do you not like sit there and empathize with that person?
Yeah.
And it's been a big thing for us, and it's not something It's not something I was prepared for. But man, we've leaned into it hard because I think that that's, I don't know. It's really, we're just giving a shit about other people.
Right.
That's it, you know?
Um, Man, there was something I was going to jump onto. Random fact: when we were talking about Facebook Marketplace, my cousin in California has made 30 grand in the last 6 months off of building like coffee tables off Timu and shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Like
and I mean,
building them,
huh?
he builds them.
Yeah, so what he does is he fakes like it's his actual furniture in his house, like brand new furniture they bought that they just didn't want. And then he sells it. It's like 20 bucks on Timu. He sells it for 150 bucks or something. It's
Oh,
incredible.
so fucking clever. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah. And people, I mean, just like you said, he's run into his problems or whatever. But for the most part, I think he cleared in profit off the 30, like 14 or something like that. So yeah, it was pretty decent.
That's pretty awesome. That's hilarious. Staging shit like that. That's what
Oh
we
my
need to do. I need to set up a little IKEA store in our warehouse.
God,
People
that
just
man.
walk through.
And dude, with the whatnot, it'd be good to go.
Yep.
So what do you think what do you think your uh if mm, if you were to try to build this the right way the first time and you were looking to build a team around you of people that could help you grow it opposed to employees, what would those people look like?
Someone who really understands marketing is huge. Someone who really understands that. Because if you don't have clients, you don't have shit. Um, I think also someone who really understands like operations and procedures. What does that look like? I'm not sure. And the reason why I say that is because this is a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of logistics that come into this, the trailer and stuff getting dumped, and staff showing up, and staff not showing up, and stuff has to get to the warehouse, and this stuff has to get dumped, and this stuff has to get separated because it was a consignment and not an outright buy. Um, Someone who's really good at operations is a big one as well, because it's not a simple thing. Um, those are the two I can think of off the top of my head. But I will let me like post give my 2 cents on that because I don't know that I mean, no, I've never seen any business launch the right way, if that makes sense. You know what
Well,
I mean?
just
Like,
your number one, and rightfully so, leads the pack concern, which I think that's great. I think taking it slow is the best thing that you could do. It's just in my shoes, trying to see from your perspective, beating away individuals that, basically at some point you're going to reach that threshold where you can't talk to people like me anymore. You can't interact with these individuals because it's just taking up too much of your time. You got to build the business. And so I was just curious, thinking to myself, if you were to uh, try to do it the right way, but faster, right? Because I know you're opposed to doing it fast. You want
sure.
to take it slow. That
Well,
was where,
it's not necessarily, I don't know if it's necessarily it being fast or not. I think it's just that this is the way, at least for now. I don't know. I could change my mind. Um, at least for now, this is the kind of the way that I feel like I want to build it is with my own team and manage my own stuff. And maybe that comes back to, I don't know. I could talk about that all day, but no, again, I think ops is a big one, and I think marketing is a big one.
yeah,
Um, those are the two. If I were to do this and I was, needed my two right hand men to make this work, those are the two that I would want. I would
very
want
cool.
someone killer marketing guy, and I would want someone that knows how to fucking run a team and run operations.
So
Um,
do you still do marketing now?
like my full time job, or like, what do you
Sorry,
mean?
that's right. For your
Yeah,
full time
no,
job,
yeah, that's my I'm a marketing director is my full time gig.
right?
Um, and I've been, like I said, I've been in marketing for like 15 something years. So I have a lot of just, I ran an agency for a good, 5 years. And during that time, you get to work with a lot of different industries. And you find out very quickly how similar they all are. Like when it comes to how to do the marketing side. Like every industry thinks they're fucking unique and they're like their target demo is specifically this and they get real fucking nuanced. At the end of the day, they're all targeting the same fucking people. And they just
Mm,
don't in their heads they think it's more unique than it is. And so that has led to a lot because back to the way that I do the marketing here, I'm trying to get in front of all the people I can that are within those areas that I know can afford me, because that they're not all going to want me right away. Like I don't HVAC is really interesting to me, like the HVAC industry, because those guys are like, we need to target people looking for HVAC people. Like we need to make sure our SEO stuff so that when they're looking for us, we're there. Versus the ones that really kill it are the ones that are just omnipresent all the time. They're just always there, and then when they need it,
mm,
they've been there. And this sounds so dumb for me to even say because it's just like it seems so fucking obvious to me. Like,
yeah.
yeah, of course, if you're around all the goddamn time, when they need you, they're gonna call you. But too many businesses have gotten into this fucking micro like targeting and want to be very specific about the demo and it has to be this person looking for this thing and they want to utilize all the tools and they forget that at the end of the day, this is just fucking branding. It's marketing and branding. It's people know you and they trust you. That's it. All the
Why
other stuff is fluff.
why'd you end up closing that door?
On what?
The agency.
COVID. COVID shut it for me.
Yeah.
I got punched in the mouth real fucking hard on COVID. Um, a lot of our clients, we had grown to a place where a lot of our clients were oil field companies. We were getting paid a lot of money uh, to do oil field shit. Not a lot, to be honest with you. It was a pretty cush job. And I just I got comfy in that we had all these clients. And when COVID hit, um, you're not in anywhere near oil, so like maybe you won't know this, but when COVID hit and gasoline prices, like gasoline became a problem, oil, the commodity of oil dropped to literally negative dollars. It was
Yeah.
costing the companies more to store it than it was, right? And when that happened, everything fucking shut down over here. I had to have been the first fucking call for all those companies. We're like, we can't use you anymore.
Damn.
And like overnight, we lost $50,000 a month in revenue overnight. And so that punched me in the face. And you know how this worked, right? COVID happened, and we thought it was going to come back, and it just fucking didn't.
Yeah.
And it extended and extended and extended. And I couldn't afford to keep everybody on, and it was just a lot. It was a lot that ended up happening.
Yeah, we were
Um,
this is another one we were just talking about the other day. Florida got like, man, I want to say 800,000 people or something like. I mean, so many people moved to Florida during the pandemic. It was insane.
was it like because of the beach?
No, we were closed for only 2 weeks out here. We didn't
Oh, that's right.
we were hit
Yeah.
different, like there was still the scared straight side of it or whatever because nobody knew what was going on. But as far as being able to go out in public, they weren't super restrictive on any of that stuff. It was the Wild West over here. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's funny. I forgot about that.
man. So the first stop you pulled up to, was it with a U-Haul when you went to your first job?
Like, wait, what did we do?
Yeah, did you pull up with a U-Haul? Did you go rent a U-Haul truck and pull up, or?
No, you'll get a kick out of this. This is how quickly I move and how little I think about this shit. I pulled up and thought, I'll just throw it in my truck. That did not work.
No.
Literally, like, as we were pulling it out, and I was like, fuck, I gotta go get a trailer. And so, literally, like, I left the two people that were there that were doing it. I went and rented a trailer real quick and came back. Just pulled it with my truck. We still do that now. We still get like a 16-foot long trailer that we use for that stuff.
Oh,
I
nice.
I need to get an enclosed trailer pretty soon, but yeah, so this comes back to me just like I just do shit and see what it feels like, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. I fix the mistake.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot about it. Now, is that the right way to do that? No, I probably could have avoided a lot of fucking mistakes doing it, but I have learned a lot by just moving and doing stuff, and I am ahead right now of more people just because the guy I had on last night was going to take 6 months to think about this and build out a plan and do a checklist of all the different things he needed to do. And and I told him, I was telling a friend of mine, I was like, yeah, it was funny me talking to him because I'm thinking like, if he's going to take 6 months to plan this, if we were in the same city, I would knock his fucking socks off.
So with that said, would you just spend the 25 on the ad and launch if you were in my shoes? Because I'm very similar to you. I'm not going to go do all this crazy shit. I think I spent $20 so far. I bought a website, which I'm
You,
gonna do up if it takes off. Right now it
sure.
just says clean your garage or something.
You
I don't
said
know.
25, like $25 in ads?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know where to start with an ad budget. I don't know what I'm looking at
Sure.
forecasting. I don't.
I mean, honestly, you won't know. Okay, I'm gonna give you my fucking tactical way I would approach this. Um, I would start a TikTok. This is the first thing I would do. Okay. And I would make a bunch of fucking videos of what you think might work on TikTok for this business. Is it a time lapse? Is it you talking? Is it you showing something off in the garage that you saw? Just a bunch of fucking videos and post them all. Not at the same time. You got to spread them out a little bit, but post all of them. See which ones got more views and pay attention to why. If you go into TikTok and you look at the analytics and you can see the interest or like the watch rate, when did people drop off? At what point in the video did they stop watching? What percentage watched the entire video? Really analyzing the video and understanding why a video worked and why it didn't. Then taking those videos that overperformed, putting a fucking thing on there that says, text me if you want me to clean your garage out, or at the top, like if you live in the blank area and you want your garage cleaned, call me now. Like putting that and then running that as the ad would work tremendously.
Hmm,
I use TikTok as a testing ground for ads before I actually put money on them,
great idea.
right? Then it's the targeting. Where do you want to target?
Yeah.
Because and there's a little bit of research where are the areas, and sometimes that's you driving around. Some places don't
Well,
have garages, right?
yeah, I was gonna say I know where I'm at. I have several neighborhoods already picked out in my mind that I would be able to just. I'm like 100% sold. If people in these neighborhoods saw a garage clean out ad that was correctly displayed or whatever or ran, then I think they would get it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like where to do it, I got it. The only thing I'm kind of nervous on is like. Would you look at? Can we pull it up real quick so you can see the? Or actually, I guess that's too nitty gritty. Like, would you just go to an LLM after you get everything up and you've done the videos and say, "Hey, write an ad for me for garage cleaning services"? Like, where would you start to generate that part?
ChatGPT.
Or literally, like you said, the call Gabe for your garage clean out with the TikTok video as the
Yeah.
ad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would spend some time on like if we're talking about content, I would spend some time on TikTok and see
but
in that industry what's working because
mm,
there's plenty of people that do fucking estate sales and they've got full on YouTube channels that do that very well. They understand how that content works and trying to emulate that I think would be a smart idea.
yeah,
Um, I'm probably gonna buy. Have you seen the Meta glasses?
yeah,
I'm probably gonna buy some of those for my reseller because I want her like fucking recording everything she's going through. And I
yeah.
think that would be interesting. And I think it makes a great YouTube channel and I think it turns into good ads. Um, so I think I think that's a big deal. Um, now, as far as the spend, this is where this gets funny for me because I don't know if you put X amount of dollars in that it's going to turn into shit.
Yeah.
I used to tell my clients this all the time. I can't guarantee you anything. What I can tell you is what has happened before, right? So for us, I ran a very basic ad. Um, it was a lead ad. I don't know how familiar you are with the back end of Facebook, the meta ads, but it was a lead ad that we ran. Um, I think I maybe spent $100 before that first lead came in, probably less than that, to be honest with you. Um, and that first lead was a sale. It was a first sale. The first, I think $200 turned into 3 or 4 jobs. Um, but that's just what happened to me. I don't know that it's going to be the same because even now, I'll tell you right now, our ad cost fluctuates quite a bit because we're in a small market. We're not gonna like not everyone's gonna need us all the time. So there are some days where I get one lead off of $100 in advertising a day, and there are some days where I get seven,
Right.
right? So it's just the consistency. So what I tell people when it comes to ad spend is you have to spend what you're willing to lose.
Mm.
And I don't want it to think like gambling at all, but like this is just a reality of the situation. I don't know what's going to happen because you could run it. Maybe your ad shit. That happens sometimes. I know plenty of really big businesses that spend a fuck ton of money on garbage ads.
And then would you create a brand new profile for all of this stuff, or would you launch off pre-existing business profiles that you may have that had already done other things?
It doesn't matter. If you
Okay.
have an existing page, that's great. If you want to start a new one, it doesn't matter. Especially if you're spending money, it's not going to matter. Like you're going to get in front of those people regardless. Um, and honestly, the way social media operates now, the followers that you've accumulated don't matter either.
Yeah.
You know, so it honestly, my answer is that I doubt it. I don't think it matters. If you have one, you want to use it, go for it. I mean, but if you want to start a new one for a different brand, you can. I think that question's kind of moot at this point, just because of the way the way Facebook specifically has really started to move towards more like interest-based stuff, the way TikTok works.
Hmm. Man, great stuff. It's so crazy we had to get on here at, I think it's probably 9 or 10 year time. I'm an hour ahead of you. So it's like 11 or so, or 12
Yeah,
my
we're
time.
about 10 o'clock here right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I got up at 3:45 this morning. I get up early.
I, I woke up late today. I was like, I woke up at like 6:40 and I'm normally supposed to be out of the house by 6:50. I was like booking it, trying to get the kids dressed.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. That's
Yeah.
why I applaud you. That was the other thing. I don't remember if you said it in the video or how it came off, but I felt like we have similar situations. Kids, full-time jobs, all this stuff, and then piling on top of that because, like you said, you're hungry or you want more, which is what I'm also very interested in. It's just, and this may be just a difference in our positions in life or experiences, but I'm in a position now where when I look at trading my time for something, I say to myself, all right, man, how much is this worth to me? Because
Yeah.
I'm giving up time with my kids, or I'm giving up time with my current, XYZ. And so how much do I value that? So while I admire you for not doing it for the money, that is a big, consideration for me. So when I think, man, like I'm going to do, 17 hours of TikTok. No, dude, I'm going to go walk to my neighbors and say, hey, do you want me to clean your garage for, $400
Right.
or whatever? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, and like, and we'll kind of close out on this, but like 100%, like I know no intentions of anyone thinking the way I do. Like that's fucking ridiculous. I wouldn't think the way, and I fucking love that too. Like, um, it is. I love it, and I say this again. Like I love doing this. Like it is the thing I enjoy doing. Right. Like since I've started this is kind of giving insight. I have not. I've watched zero fucking TV. I haven't watched a fucking movie. I've not played video games. I've hung out with my kids, of course, right? Like we fucking do whatever we do. Like we were just at my brother's birthday party at my mom's house, right? But all the other shit I used to do to entertain me have like melted away. And I don't miss it one bit.
yeah.
Like I just really fucking love this. But that's just me. And that's okay. Cause like fuck, if you're happy like doing this just a little bit, like and maybe fucking one garage a weekend, or maybe not at all, maybe find out you don't fucking like it. Who gives a shit? Like you just you're fucking cool with yourself and you're happy and you get to do shit and hang out with your family. Like, this is again, I'm gonna fucking rant here a little bit, but this is again what my fear was on this podcast that happened was with Gary is it came across as so fucking easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people don't realize like, and I wish I'd gotten more into this. I was asking that question of when to quit, not because like, yeah, was I afraid of losing there's a little bit of that, but like deep down, I wanted him to tell me that. I wanted him to tell me to fucking quit because I know I would be fucking so much happier doing just that. Right.
And he told you
And
to quit your job instead.
oh, and I've lost my shit, man. It was like, yeah, like that's literally what I wanted. I wanted someone to fucking validate. that like what I'm doing is working and then I can fucking do this and be happy for the rest of my goddamn life.
Yep.
Build this thing however long it takes. Because again, it's just a fucking game, right? And if I can play this game until I fucking die, I'll be happy,
Yeah.
right? So, but that was my biggest fear for this is I think that I don't want people chasing the money on that because I guarantee you, if people that are chasing money, they get into that first dirty garage, they're going to say, fuck this real fast because
Yeah.
it's hot, it's muggy, there's a dead rat in the corner. That's
Yep.
fucking real, right? The client's bitching at you because you didn't put that box in the right spot. Like, there's a lot of that. The fucking trailer gets a flat tire, your guy got into a wreck and he's not going to make it. So you've got to get on Facebook to find, like, all the bullshit that comes with this very quickly. It can very quickly seem like this is not fucking worth whatever amount of profits I'm going to make, right? And
Yeah, and I love this because my analogy to it, or the experiences that I've had in my life, is I had a pretty successful sales job, but I had to clean toilets before I was successful at that
mhm,
job. That was part of it. Wasn't necessarily, there was a lot of other people that didn't do that, and I don't think they saw the same success that I did, because I got in the trenches and took the grenades. But when I just want to be clear that when I look at this garage business, or anything that I want to jump into, the biggest consideration I say, or like how I want to look at it, is I just want to know I'm in the gold mine. I don't care if I'm holding the pickaxe or pushing the
sure,
barrel. I don't care if it's 2 years away from the gold. I just want to know that everything I'm doing right now is working towards that thing. Whereas there's been enough scenarios in my life where I've gotten involved with something, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey man, this was 6 months of my life. Where did I learn?
mhm.
Instead
I
of a,
The
yeah.
6 month thing hits hard for me because when I started my marketing agency, I went 6 months without a client. 6 straight months. I was younger. I had less responsibilities, right? But 6 straight fucking months of me, like, honestly, looking back, it was 6 months of me bullshitting because I didn't know what I was doing,
Right.
right? And then when I finally landed that first client, it was like, okay, how do I emulate whatever the fuck I just did to get this and get the next one and get better and better and better at it, right? And I think that's a lot of the reason me doing that and it being fucking failure for 6 months is the reason why this was able to launch and be successful in 7 fucking days because I
Right.
know what I'm doing now, right? Um, I know what I'm doing to a degree. I'm going to say the same shit about myself in 10 years. Like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing when I started, right? Um, I'm just better at it now. But no, like, long story short on this, like, it is, it is a fucking process. And I think that yes, there's plenty of fucking money in here.
Yeah.
And I'll be more optimistic now instead of like shitting on people for a moment. Um, I've had 3 jobs now that have gross revenue was over $3,000.
It's a
And
good.
yeah, it's real fucking good, right? I've got one job that's going to pay 8 grand when it's done. Um, which is it's huge, right? It keeps my guys working, right? They're happy because they're getting hours. I'm happy because we get a giant profit at the end, and we have a bunch of shit to sell, which is a whole other thing because we're making more profits off that. So yes, there's plenty of fucking money in this, right? It's just the bullshit that comes along with it.
Man, your accounting and organizational skills must be out of this world.
You know what's funny? They're fucking not. They're
Yeah,
not at
dude.
all. I've got inventory management skills, so that helps a little bit. Uh, the the accounting stuff I'm doing. But what do you mean by the accounting stuff? Like, what made you come up with like that?
I mean, if you're itemizing stuff, if you're doing consignment, if you're doing percentage, deals on things, if there's a lot time, right? So how long it can sit for, like, there's just so many things that go into all this stuff.
You know what? I think you may be overthinking you're over uh, estimating my abilities here. A lot of the shit that I'm doing is off of gut.
Yeah.
It really is. When I buy shit, because we tried the consignment stuff early on. The first one, I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing this ever again. That's a pain in the ass. I don't want to keep track of inventory.
Right.
I want to buy the stuff and I want to sell it. That's it.
Yeah.
And so after that, I would tell people, hey, will you take it for $100? Because I know in my gut there's more than $100 worth of shit there, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we take it for $100. Yes, take it, load in the trailer, we'll go sell it. And that has worked very well for us. We had one where we sold, it was $100 worth of stuff. We bought it all. And I mean, the first item I sold for 180. It's all,
Love
I
it.
mean, so it's all good on there. Fuck no. We have one job that's on consignment right now, and I hate it. I hate
Yeah.
doing that.
I mean, that's another upsell or opportunity, especially for this type of service, is a to be able to digitize things. Like people that want to get rid of all their old memorabilia or photographs or this and that. Then when you come in, you can say, "Hey, for another 2 grand, I can make this all on a hard drive and so give you the hard drive."
That gives me a fucking headache even thinking about. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all, but Jesus Christ, that gives me a headache.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
more
The
logistics.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of opportunity there. Very exciting stuff, man. I really appreciate you getting on with me, man. I think it's cool what you're doing for people to actually respond and put yourself out there. It's a cool experience.
I appreciate that, man. I enjoy doing this. Like I said, I used to do podcasting a lot, and I'm loving getting back into this. I'm way out of fucking practice,
Yeah,
but I'm picking it back up. I feel like I'm getting it back up. We'll see. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. This has been good. I love the conversation. You're gonna have to keep me updated. Let me know how it's going.
we'll
Uh,
do.
I'd love to hear more about this. I'm trying to keep up with everybody. I'm actually have another call here in a minute. So anyway, thank you, man. I appreciate you coming by. Shoot me an email. We'll connect a little bit more. If you want to, we want to talk more nitty gritty. We're talking about those Facebook ads, like we can. That would be awesome. And then, yeah,
Awesome.
that's it, man. I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks.